side, a little bit more flexibility with these bans, but has been red side finding a lot more success over recent weeks.
Yeah, it was actually a rec side ban on red side for Longzhu. They will ban it on blue. Seems like Kaz doesn't want to play it. Much more of the Kaziks when it comes to the extended bench of junglers. The big goal for BBQ on blue side, where you can kind of trend set in terms of bans in game one, was try and take away the must-ban AD carries, but things like Longzhu will also respond in kind, as they will also ban away the Kalista on blue side.
Yeah, getting rid of that. BBQ now with a little bit more flexibility, as Longzhu have banned away some pretty high-priority champions. Zac, of course, still has to go, and we're looking at things like Galio take the next spot. It was Ashe that was banned by BBQ, and we could actually just have exactly the same bans if they banned Galio Ashe here.
Yeah, I wonder if Longzhu want to play Galio. Galio's been a little bit deprioritized in recent days after the 7-13 nerfs. They'll ban away Cassiopeia, who does well into Corki, and it was also a pick into the Galio that you mentioned. So, kind of interesting mind games banning the Cassiopeia on blue side.
Might be that Corki pick that BDD could be looking for. Of course, overlooked in the last game.
If it comes to an answering a Corki pick, he's a big fan of taking the Lucian into Corki that we saw earlier this week as well from BDD. So has a lot of options whatever happens, but the Cassiopeia ban on blue is a bit fishy.
Yeah, Gragas now takes the highest priority spot as far as junglers are concerned, given the sort of slip away of the Lee Sin, especially for Cousin Bless. Maybe not for some of our other Lee Sin players.
It's a bit of a reliability question mark, the Lee Sin. Sure, he can pull off great things, but this feels more simple to play Gragas. You have more options. You don't have to hit your one skill shot. You can be fine with just hitting the body slam for engage. So people have been favoring Gragas, like you mentioned. BBQ, still a big fan of the Xayah. Could take Rakan here now if they want it.
Yeah, if they really want that combination. Wasn't necessarily a winning choice, and it can just be Longzhu picking up the Twitch Braum again this next round. But Bless is going to take away that jungle pick before the Rakan is considered.
Theory here is that they want to take a jungler while they can, and in the next round, maybe they'll just take something like the Corki or Taliyah and ban away champions against it in the second round of bans. So it feels like the priority spot of the final pick in the first round on red side can also be used to set up an advantage, but speaking of advantages, doesn't even need to go to Twitch, because Longzhu can display their standard Ashe game. They pretty much take it whenever it's up.
Yeah. Prey can just turn his brain off and go autopilot Ashe. I feel like Prey doesn't even need to think playing Ashe now.
Yeah, I asked Gorilla about if they have any special stuff, and he's like, no, we just play Ashe every game at scrims. And I'm like, well, maybe you should consider other stuff. It gets banned quite a bit. As, well, they're just going with the best stuff, Atlas.
Yeah, that is that's already a lot of damage stuff happening out of Longzhu Gaming's side. Does mean that the support pool will possibly get pinched a little bit by BBQ, as they are going to take the Rakan, keep their solo lanes as a bit more of a surprise, but gives Longzhu a couple of bans to try and strip them of options. Don't know why that sentence was so difficult to say. First ban still yet to come from BBQ, taking some time considering what they want to do.
They want to get Taliyah. You know, Taliyah or Corki, I think, is what they want as first pick, so I imagine Longzhu may just ban both of those. Yeah. That's an option you can have. You're just looking for solo lanes from BBQ, and it's not like Crazy's champion pull into the Shen, into the Jace really causes any issue. You could just ban the Shen I mentioned on accident there, because it does do quite well against Jace over time, but Longzhu have been confident in just pushing lanes and getting pressure early. They're just choosing to largely just go for that mid lane champion pull.
Interestingly, Galio makes it through the first round, so those nerfs are certainly working out as far as freeing Galio from his first round of banned prison.
It feels like mid lane is just a little bit more tough for him, because he can't push and roam as reliably. Even just a little bit of damage lowering to ensure that he doesn't clear the back line as safely as with his tanky itemization means he has to change his itemization. Means they may not be in position to first roam with the hero's entrance. So end result, as you say, is that slight deprioritization on the Galio.
The thing I'm really scared about now is the Braum has been banned away, and Longzhu have the option of going for an Ashe Zyra comp towards the bottom side of the map, meaning that this Zyra Khan will not have the lane presence to deal with what Longzhu can throw out down there, and might mean that Longzhu play bottom side League of Legends this time around, really mix up where their focus was, because last game it was all about the top side of the map, getting them ahead. This could be a different opportunity.
You notice they don't ban either Taliyah or Corki. Another option is to ban neither and go for what is a bit of a skill matchup between the two. Now you lock in Talia, and that doesn't mean that BDD couldn't just lock in Kassadin or Zed. They could get a bit frisky in the mid lane as well, or they could just take the Corki vs Talia matchup that we saw ad nauseum at Rift Rivals, was the standard mid lane matchup.
Yeah. Tom Kench available for Gorilla as well, which needs to be mentioned. Abyssal Voyage to get around that map as BDD thinking about an old favorite in the Orianna. He's going to lock that one away. So a bit of a more magey matchup in the mid lane.
That's some great ball carriers, and you see a lock-in. That's actually going to be Kennen. I think it's going to be Kennen's support.
Yep. Not very many other places where he's going to go, unless it was going to be a return of the Jace support, the Martyr special. As Totoro's thinking about a Yasuo for crazy. Happened yesterday. It's not as crazy as you might think. Does deny Ash Arrows quite nicely.
We don't want to take it into Jace. It's not a fantastic matchup. You can play it, but it's not that reliable. Camille would be the more standard choice, and they will go for the Camille into Jace. Early levels will be a bit raspy, but Gorilla jumping in an old favorite. He's played support Kennen in the past. Gives them another initiator. And now when it comes to ball carriers, any of the setup CC hits, the shockwave is almost guaranteed. If you give BDD a farm lane and 3 items, people gonna die.
Yeah. And the Slicing Maelstrom is now so much better at getting those stuns off after the end of the duration, and you don't want to be focusing the support Kennen. You kill him, there's all of the carries still left alive on the side of Longzhu Gaming, so Gorilla may have some opportunities to really stun some people out of this one. Tempt certainly on a champion that he's very comfortable on. Bless can make things happen in the early game, and with that Camille lock-in, Crazy does have a lot of split push potential towards the top side of the map, and trying his hand at a different matchup into the Jace of Khan this time around. But Longzhu, this looks like an even better draft than game number 1. At least on paper, Papa Smithy.
Definitely got some other good things about it. Khan does better in the laning phase against the Camille than he did against the Renekton on paper, but you have to feel like Bless is going to try to be the answering factor in the top side, and he can be relentlessly ganked when the Hextech ultimatum is up. BDD on the Orianna that was denied away from him in the previous game. Prey is on Ashe, so watch for the Ashe arrows. And Gorilla brings back his 2015 special. It's support Kennen, not even with a Kalista, just straight up Kennen.
Yep, just Kennen. I thought we might see him with the resurgence of Kalista. You don't even need it. Gorilla's just going to play the Kenny anyway. I'm very excited to see how it's going to go. Let's do it. Let's hop onto the Rift for game number 2. Longzhu fans gaining the same momentum that their team has got over their last victory. I swear, the amount of Khan fans that have just come out of nowhere since he started playing his highlight style would be ridiculous, Papa Smithy. This guy, so good to watch.
I mean, Longzhu started the spring season with a lot of fans because people love Prey and Gorilla. They're very popular players in Korea for the longest time, and most recently on the Rocks Tigers.
Because of you.
The BBQ fans there. That's a really angry-looking rooster in the picture there. Understandably, after most of the losses in recent times. But now, as you say, Khan, he's becoming a lovable player as we're getting to know his personality. BDD, I think people just respect, in kind of the same way people respect Faker in terms of the fact that he is coming onto the scene just being straight-up good on a wide range of champions, can play the assassins, but also plays the control mages just as confidently.
Yeah, flexible style as well is very similar to that of Faker, because Faker can play hyper-aggressive, but then has his incredible Lulu from seasons past and things like that, whereas supportive utility style is also very good. So I feel like that comparison, I know comparing players to Faker is a very difficult task, but I think the BDD, as far as other players in the league, Faker makes the most sense as far as that comparison
and what I'll say to fans who rightfully will be a bit perturbed about the comparisons to Faker is that I think it's pretty lazy commentary to just compare every player to Faker, because at the end of the day, Faker has the runs on the board. He plays his style. He is the best player of all time. But what I can say about specifically BDD is that the way he plays the lane, his relentless aggression, is looking for solo kills that other people would just respect vision. He pushes and aggresses in a way that is unique to Faker. And the fact that I see that from him makes me want to compare him to Faker, and he's got a long way to go, but I have a confidence that BDD can be a great mid laner, even if we might not speak about him at the end of LoL's lifetime in the same breath as Faker.
Yeah. Well, BDD, see whether this game is going to be a continuation as Bless is looking to try and get Khan away from that MVP rating, and that stun is beautiful from Crazy. A lock away first blood. BBQ on the board very quick.
And great to see Bless actually making a proactive move, ganking the tough matchup we talked about, and it will not be Jace with the early advantage. It's going to be Camille getting the first gank pre-6, and then you know that when 6 comes around, they're going to be happy to wombo him again. And I thought for a second there the Gragas was on the side of BBQ, because the camp could definitely be real for the Jace.
There's a ward in this brush here as well, so he can't sneak around. Crazy going to go back to base, teleport back in himself. Does have the better buy, most likely. We'll see whether he can get a Doran's Blade or something like that. No, Doran's Shield is going to be locked in. And Cuz throws out some Gatorade for Tempt.
Well, we're going to see a lot of pushing in the bot side. Rakan not the strongest laner, and Kennen's one thing in basically every role is laning power. Maybe outclassed in range by some AD carries, so Reckless still gets it done in the 2v2, but as a support, very annoying to deal with. We'll still probably max the W. Could max Q and just get the cooldown lowered there for the more non-committal poke, but certainly going to be a thorn to deal with for the Zion Rakan.
Yeah, and slight buffs to AP Cannon as well means that we might see Gorilla go for more of an AP style. 713 was a little bit of a change, more of a nerf to AD Cannon, but it was his ratios being increased on a few of his buttons. You do see the Spell Thieves. Who knows?
The movement speed that you get from the Spell Thieves line's quest is going to be great for Kennen.
Yeah.
Usually he has to rely on only his Lightning Rush for the speed up, but having other sources of movement speed will be big for him.
Cuz is going to find Totoro there. He's going to fall down. Prey grabs that kill, and now 3 versus 2. Ghost finds some snares and will be able to get the other 2 out alive, but the damage is done, and Longzhu answer back. Yeah,
Gorilla has to use both summons. He flashes behind the Gragas, so he can't just be taken down with Focus Fire. But you're right. They were the first ones to make the move. They get the first advantage in the bot lane. Ashe picks up the kill as well, and already the experience lead will start to grow for the side of Longzhu.
Oh, man. Gorilla. Mentioned relentless aggression. Ghost is taking so much harass from this cannon, who doesn't have any summoner spells left. Prey's going to have a giggle and go back home, but he's got all of his summoners available. See what he's going to pick up as well. BF Sword is done, so it looks like it could be something like the Infinity Edge first Ashe that we have seen. I believe that's Maha's favorite option. But the Essence Reaver has been making a resurgence as well on the Ashe.
I mean, look at the team he's facing, and Camille won't be building the most health. There's no true tank, so I think it's going to be Essence Reaver. He was the one who innovated the Essence Reaver into Hurricane build. Was still playing at Worlds 2016 when Bang and other AD carries were rushing the Infinity Edge, so expecting it to be Essence Reaver utility. He has a lot of damage on the rest of his lineup with a top lane Jace as well. But you're right, there is the outside chance that he'll go Maha style and pick up the Infinity Edge.
Yeah. Options, most certainly. As Bless can make his way back towards that top side. No ward here for Khan, so he does have to play defensively, but does spot him out. That control ward is very, very deep for the Jace.
I like how Khan went back, got a control ward, and that's where he put it. He's like, I'm Jace with no flash. I need to know where the jungler is. I'm going to ward next to their Krugs.
Well, look, it's working out so far.
The Krugs aren't pathing into that brush. That's actually working out pretty good for him. Oh, no.
Ah, there we go. Okay, did get him a lot of time, though. And also the knowledge that that is exactly where Bless is. Ping, ping, ping. Khan knows that there's no one coming back because Cuz was able to get a ward into that brush. Tracker's Knife helping him out there.
BDD walking through a control ward, so they're not spotted here, rotating up as 3.
Cuz gets tagged. Bless going to be here as well, but BDD looks like he's making the round trip, get himself back.
Crazy has the ability to drop aggro with using the Hextech Ultimatum, so you can actually dodge something like the Shockwave with that half-second of invulnerability, so risky to turret dive. Speaking of turret dives.
Yeah, Praying Gorilla playing defensively as you'd expect. Hawkshot flies through, they spot out the Talia. And it is well and truly controlled here by Longzhu so far in this early game.
It's still so good to see Tempt rotate bot lane through his control ward, try to force Ash and Kennen to back off as BDD's playing smartly topside through his unique vision. Both teams playing where they're strongest.
Yeah. Just reserved play from both of them as Crazy avoids the damage of the accelerated shock blast, and Khan uses his last remaining mana on that particular ability. Teleports back up though, so he's more than capable of just heading back home if he'd like to. Gets the cannon creep as well, so we're all saved from the tilt.
Happy farming times in the mid lane. Orianna ahead early before she gets the instant wave clear at 9 is something to take note of. Just BDD being on point in the laning phase and happy to push up means that Tempt hasn't been able to grow the 10-odd CS that we often see as an advantage for Taliyah early.
Yeah. Cuz as well wishes he had a ward left remaining as there are pings on where Bless is. Sets up the vision on the bottom side. BBQ know that there's not going to be any flanks coming in. Cuz level 6, so Explosive Cask is there. Dragon Rage Kick also available from Bless as well. So now looking towards bottom side, try and get that aggression on as Gorilla might be a target that BBQ can go for. There they go, heading out. Oh no.
That's all alone.
Yeah, looking for Tempt, but he's just going to walk himself out. Arrow's going to land, and now who's been caught as the shockwave comes down? Bless is going to be able to pick up Cuz on his way out. Red buff delivered over to the Orianna, but 1 for 1. BBQ will take that in what was a horrible situation that was looming on them.
Yeah, brain fade from Cuz, who had his flash up, did not need to die in that scenario, but on low health, overstayed and ends up giving away a trade kill. Unnecessary mistake from Cuz that'll definitely want to not have to relive too many times. Should have just been advantage Longzhu off the Ash arrow hit, but answering kill for the side of BBQ.
Well, thankfully for BDD, it does mean that he gets a red buff, which for Orianna means the Clockwork Wind-Up. It's going to be working out a whole lot better. Not necessarily the best auto-attacking champion in the game.
Just a small note, it is the Q max coming through from Gorilla, so getting the shorter cooldown on the Q, looking for some poke.
Yep.
Bit risky for the low HP cannon to be walking up for auto, so no W max is top lane. A lot of fighting between the two.
Yeah, that shock blast timing was absolutely fantastic from Khan as well. Waits for that shield to wear off and then immediately gets in that big burst of damage. And Cuz turns up at the right time.
Spotted.
Crazy forced to go back and doesn't have the teleport, remember. We've got Taliyah making her way up as well as Blesses Lee Sin. Here's the Weaver's Wall. Cuz, yep, caught. Wrong side of dodge, but should be able to get towards the... yeah, does. Just jumps on.
Got over the wall as well, the Weaver's Wall on
Yeah.
the exit there. So nicely done from Cuz, all things considered.
Broke my brain a little bit, I'm not going to lie to you, Pop Smithy.
I mean, we've had a couple of moments like that today, like
Yeah.
the flash into no vision brush on bot side.
Yeah.
We've had enough time to reset our brains after the madness that was KT versus Jin Air Game 2 yesterday.
Oh my goodness. What a game. If you guys didn't see it after this, during the break that we may have if Longzhu win this game, just go and watch Game 2.
Don't worry, Eugene Legion. I wash my mouth with soap. No more French for me.
Voulez-vous? I'm not going to try.
Je parle un peu. De temps en temps.
This is the English broadcast, isn't it? Just making sure it's Gorilla. He's been ignited, taking a lot of damage, but the Featherstorm not enough as Khan looking for the 1v2, and Cuz disengages it, and Khan's probably a bit annoyed, honestly. Body Slam's going to land onto Bless. Gets a lot of slow damage. There's the flash, and Khan locks that kill down. Crazy has to just look on in terror as his jungler falls. There was a fight happening on the bottom side of the map as well, Papa Smithy, but no one is going to die in that exchange. And Temp now gets shockwaved. BDD still looking for more. Man attack flies through. Now Longzhu looking for first brick on the top side.
And it's a small thing, but even the understanding of skirmish ranges for Jace is something Longzhu is smart at. The ability to turn there where other teams will just disengage. They know that the prize here isn't just the kill. They pick up on the top side onto Bless. It's the first brick turret again being established in the Jace lane. He can go back, look for a bigger buy. Won't be Blade of the Ruin Blade of the Ruin King. Yeah, Blade of the Ruin King rush this time. He's not against a health stacker. It's going to probably be going for the Black Cleaver and a bit more of a team-focused build.
I hope it's the Trinity Force.
Not the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I thought that's what blah, 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 blah actually stood for.
Ah.
Because it's, you know, it's all the items. So you may as
colloquialism,
well try and
not
say
often
all
known.
of the words at the same time. Makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes talking is really hard.
Really hard. We know. We do it for a living. Okay, Ghost and Totoro, they're going to make their way back to base. You've got no Essence Reaver completed just yet. That's a Fairy Charm. in the inventory for Totoro. Always feels bad just to have a tiny bit of mana regen taking up a slot. But of course has his control ward, has some potions there as well, and his Sightstone's completed. So Rakan doing okay. But that is a gigantic lead at the moment for Prey. Close to 40 CS up. As he's the one that makes it back to lane first as well, so Ghost is only going to lose more. The wave makes its way down. Tempt building towards his Banshee's Veil. We're very close to Morellonomicon for PDD.
And how BBQ play from this point is going to be super interesting to track. They would have loved to keep the laning phase going longer in the top side as they were equalizing CS between Jace and Camille. And Camille hitting 3 or 4 items would be great split push opportunities for them, but that's not going to happen. Now Jace has kind of free run over the top side, and either BBQ can focus on control wards around Rift Herald and soon to be Baron and allow Camille to push safely, or otherwise Jace will get the push and you can focus around trying to make plays on the bottom side of the map. You have to choose one. To me, playing around the Camille, getting her further ahead, and maybe eventually the ability to solo kill the Jace is the right play, but you could also understand kind of abandoning the Camille, focusing on getting the Xayah a bit more CS and using the Weaver's Wall to make plays on the bot side.
Yeah, Tempt, of course, can clear out this mid lane quite effectively now with the AP that he's built up. BDD also in the same boat. So you mentioned the level 9 mark, well, he's level 10 now. Just looking for that second rank on the Shockwave for the next option. Less discovered here, but Totoro's going to make sure that Cuz doesn't kill that control ward. He's been sitting on the blue buff for quite some time. Pings out onto Tempt, exactly where he is as well. So Longzhu, full information in this tower. Not long for the world. As in goes the grand entrance, slicing Maelstrom's there. And
wow.
Okay, I think there was a Rakan there for a moment. And now Tempt, no option to do anything. Bless is going to be taken down. It's one after the other here for BBQ. The dissonance slows too much and the Shockwave goes wide, but that is one after the other for Longzhu Gaming, and they'll move towards the outer turret on the bottom side and take that, and possibly even a dragon as well. Just a disaster for BBQ.
And the troops coming, marching in one by one was kind of what happened there. You can only shake your head as even the Lee Sin kick led to no advantage whatsoever. By the time Crazy came in, the fight was already over. I think it needs to be more proactive teleport on the side of the Camille, so playing bot side fails even more than losing the top turret in the previous exchange, and now they'll probably lose a blue buff as well.
That's Crazy, can grab it. Nope, Khan's going to be the one that picks it up. Hextech
Optimistic.
Ultimatum, yeah, comes in. And that's the double knock-up. Totoro is going to be able to grab some damage, and they at least allow Ghost to take out Gorilla. Nicely done. Longzhu get the dragon, they get the blue buff, and they get out with only losing their little Kenny support. Probably still worthwhile there for Longzhu.
He may be little in stature, but he's 1,100 gold ahead of his opposite number. There's so much CC on the side of Longzhu. You also have to respect the cannon. If Bless comes in, he gets stunned up by the cannon, just dies. Sure, he put out a kick, but the value from the kick was nothing, and it's just front to back. After that, Crazy teleports way too late. Can't even use the Hextech Ultimatum because 3 of his friends had already gone down. A consolation kill on a cannon is certainly not worth it for the side of BBQ.
Yeah, Jace just going back to base now. See whether he can complete the Black Cleaver and what else he can gather as well once he gets home. So Black Cleaver's done. Got a cheeky extra longsword there as well. Morellonomicon's completed for BDD, and he's close to grabbing Banshee's Veil as well. Totoro in a little bit of trouble. A couple of marks of the storm on him, but thankfully he moves out of the range the electrical surge before that goes off.
Don't often see that, actually, so this lets you know just how long range the dash is there from the side of Totoro to get out of range. Now they're camping a brush.
Oh, very nice.
Spidey sense.
Yeah, that's good. Didn't have his Hawk Shot available as well.
Didn't have his pocket cannon either.
No. Now has Cuz, and there he goes. Gorilla makes his way back into the lane. For some reason, it's even more adorable when Cannon's a support cannon.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just something about the fact that he's not, being really frustrating in a top lane and actually doing a lot of damage. He's just a little cannon.
I think ranged AP cannon matchups are probably my favorite because then you have to respect the Q max, and it's a bit different to being bopped on the head as a melee champion a million times by on-hit cannon. That part's just no fun.
Okay, BBQ pushing up the bottom side of the map, looking to try and grab themselves this turret. Cuz, in the meantime, takes the Rift Herald, and we'll see whether now they're going to be able to use it effectively. It's 5,000 gold the lead at 17 minutes in.
Can't walk up because Talia was on bot side as, well, tries to interrupt the Rift Herald, who gets really, really angry.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun.
Boop. Khan uses the flash, actually. Has to get himself out of the way. Bless looking to find his way in.
Someone should tell him he's 1v2.
Yeah, they don't want to fight the 1v2 either, as Khan's just going to be able to pick up this kill with the help of Gorilla. Nice kickback, but where else is he going to go? He probably would have just held on to that cooldown, to be honest. Easy auto attack, and that's going to finish that one off. The Camille lives, but oh no! Totoro, fortunately, just straight into an arrow there. Good flick back with the shoop to scoop.
Here's Cuz.
Yeah, he's looking for the body slam. Flash comes out, but Temp now can't connect with this fight anymore. Slicing Maelstrom comes in. All of the stuns getting lined up as Crazy's limping away. Totoro's limping away. Ghost, no health, and it's going to be BDD that secures the kill on the Rakan all too easily, and this inner turret should fall if they have any semblance of a minion wave.
And the game plan is just falling apart at the seams for BBQ as well. The moment that Khan could walk up onto first the Camille and then the Lee Sin, you knew things were looking bad. They're pushing in on double inner turrets at 18 minutes, and nothing BBQ can do.
Yeah, as game number 2 is looking even more one-sided than game number 1, Papa Smithy. BBQ, no answers to what Longzhu's putting down. And yes, last game it was fantastic Twitch play, but it's great seeing Prey back on the Ashe. Khan, Jace was unanswered in the ban phase. He's now ahead by 30 CS, continuing to play very, very well. And this is BDD's Orianna. It's a very different story to what we saw at Attempt in Game 1.
And just consider the position Longzhu were at in spring season, because the one thing we always said on cast was if Prey can't get Ashe or Varus, the team would instant lose because he was the only person on the team who was willing to initiate. They didn't have other initiators. Unfortunately, Expression, Crash, Fly, they struggled to have initiation, and teams eventually just started double banning Ashe Varus, even when that wasn't the meta ban, because it did so well against Longzhu. Now Prey, when he gets Ashe, is at the same time as other players having weapons to initiate, other players having weapons to carry. It's not get Ashe or Varus or lose the game for Longzhu. It's when they get Ashe or Varus, they just look even a step better than they do with other picks.
Yeah. And now Cuz has the opportunity to get that initiation done. BDD likes to initiate whatever he can, and Khan gets initiated on because he's always pushing so hard.
And they're lucky also that the meta shifts in the support role, and there's a lot of initiator supports available. It's not Lulu Karma every game, or Malzahar even. Focusing mostly on laning. Malzahar was on the initiation side, but it's just different to have Alistar, Thresh. They're the options that are very common in summer season.
And do we think that that Glacial Shroud is going to go towards a Zeke's convergence, or could it possibly be the Icy Fist?
I mean, Zeke's convergence is pretty amazing if you consider it's pretty similar to Slicing Maelstrom and how it works.
Yeah, I know.
The double AoE storms.
But it doesn't feel nearly as fun as an Icy Glove.
How can you not be happy he built a mana item on a champion with no mana?
That's true. I am pretty excited about that. Oh dear.
Now he won't run home.
So much energy. And look at him. Look at his little waddle. He's waddling a little bit faster because he has access to more mana.
Shut up.
When beforehand he had absolutely none at all. Perfect. Okay, Khan going to be able to take down yet another blue buff in the face of BBQ, and even knew it. Just couldn't be bothered wasting his time killing a control ward. Now Kaz wants to steal away the red. Not going to be able to, though. Blade Caller is going to pick it up for Ghost. A lot of people underestimate the incredible burst damage. It's almost like a Callisto when you can get enough feathers out there. Securing things. Certainly relatively easy for that of Isaiah.
Laning power of the Xayah has kind of fallen away as the season's gone on, and more teams have scrimmed more against Xayah, understand the play patterns of the feathers more, and see more sidesteps than perhaps were happening in earlier parts of the season.
Longzhu right now just clearing out the map of everything that they want. Tried to get the red buff, that's the only thing they failed to get. So the Cloud Drake is going to fall. Blue buff fell down. Crazy's even pressured away from where his outer turret used to be.
The Zeke's is gone, but there is optimism. It's going to be a righteous glory, Atlas.
Oh, that's less fun than either of the other two.
You're not ready for Turbo Cannon?
No. I just don't think Cannon should wear a Viking hat.
He's going to be real fast.
It just feels wrong. For some reason, I just really like Iceball Gauntlet. I don't know why. Scarilla is going to find the stun. Oh, good Featherstorm. As, it's just not going to be enough. Ghost probably should still fall down. No, okay, thankfully Totoro makes his way in, and Kaz can't close the gap in time. I thought surely we'd get a body slam cask or something like that, especially when Ghost didn't have access to his Featherstorm.
Longzhu would love to turn onto Baron, but Control Ward is there, so they don't have unique vision of the pit. Camille only now really starting to get an item build together. Still far away from 2 items on the Camille.
Okay, Cuz. Takes a bunch of damage. Not too much more though, and yeah, you're right. It's just Trinity Force, a couple of swords and a shield. It's not what you want if you want to be splitting against Khan, who's already got 2 of his items completed. Okay, Totoro, you could be in trouble. Just grand exits the situation.
No game is most likely to be lost when you have a Camille with Trinity Force and no turrets have been taken by BBQ.
Yeah.
None. Not even one. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to make trades. They had the choice early of just doubling down on the Camille after her turret went down or trying to make plays bot lane. They took the proactive line, which is usually the way to go, but in this case, against the draft from Longzhu, it's compounded their misery. Now they find it very difficult to walk up to Baron. Jace is happy to just push in the face of the Camille, and, well...
Oh, no!
Featherstorm was on cooldown.
Yeah, Featherstorm was on cooldown, but the flash probably could have got him out of the way of the arrow instead of straight into it. Longzhu are going to be able to get that pick onto Ghost pretty easily now. And that flash had only just come back off cooldown. Now, 4 versus 5, BBQ unable to defend this inner turret, and it might just be Baron as well, going over to Longzhu if they want to. Blast going to get everyone into that pit if they feel like it. Is now Bless setting himself up. Totoro as well, standing on top of a ward. Time for the desperation plays for BBQ, but they just have no vision, no way in towards this Baron as 3 men already starting it up.
Gorilla can buy a lot of time here, still has the ultimate available.
Okay, Weaver's Wall for vision as Bless. Oh, so much damage. It's going to be Gorilla that puts in a whole bunch of the work, almost finds the last shuriken, but doesn't matter. The Baron is still going to fall. They do exactly what they needed to. Longzhu, 24 minutes into the game. It's a Baron. It's all the dragons. They've lost no turrets. It's just 3 kills that separates Longzhu from a perfect game.
But you have to reflect and smile because that line of commentary is something we're talking about in Longzhu Gaming in 2017. They're doing exactly what they needed to at almost every turn, playing out their playbook correctly, making smart choices, also having these players on strong picks for themselves, and the end result is that BBQ look many leagues below that of Longzhu, who look like a contender.
Yeah, Longzhu looking absolutely fantastic. We're having this conversation talking about which teams we expect to head to Worlds yesterday, Papa Smithy, and I know it's relatively early in the piece to start that discussion, but there are almost 6-7 teams that you could see vying for those top few spots.
And I kind of reject that notion because if you remember, we were talking about it preseason. We're like, well, look how strong KT is now. SKT, KT, Samsung. How could it be anyone else? But now there is Longzhu. Now there are other names in the base. So the optimism we have to start to speculate and have, 5 names, 6 names in the conversation for both the finals gauntlet and also the Worlds gauntlet. That's awesome.
Super awesome. The unknown is a very exciting thing in a league that just felt a little bit SKT dominated quite some time. Of course, SKT is still well and truly a favorite, but Longzhu stepping up. You've got Jinez starting to play a whole lot better. KT showing multiple facets to their gameplay yesterday. Once again, we've got clean League of Legends. There is a flash towards the bottom side of the map, though. That pick unable to be gathered. It's a support trade on the bottom side, but it was BBQ that went for the engage. Prey taking way too much damage there from that Blade Caller, but BDD that's tanking up the turret, and they are going to be able to take that one down. Mid lane inhibitor turret also going to be under fire, and it's Crazy that's just going to try and deny it. Inhibitor falls very easily, and Ghost loses the majority of his health bar. Longzhu now just start that textbook play of move around, take all of the inhibitors, utilize this Baron as best they can. They've got backs that need to come in. Luden's Echo's done now for BDD. Very close to that 4th item, Void Staff, as well as there's a cheeky little book. And that is a Guardian Angel done for Prey as well. Probably could just afford it, so he decided to buy it. Some luxury items now coming in for Longzhu as they're so far ahead. 14,000 gold is now the lead at 27 minutes into the game.
And the reason why it's a good time to buy a Guardian Angel is A, because they want to end the game soon, and B, it means that in a true 5v5 in front of, say, the inhibitor turret in mid lane, Prey doesn't care about Hextech Ultimatum. He has the Guardian Angel and also the ability to just be more brazen with his positioning and fish for an ult, fish for a couple of extra kills, flash aggressively when his flash comes back up to try and finish the game. The Infinity Edge is necessary in the build, but Prey's feeling that he has enough damage right now, and that inhibitor is going down for free. Looks like BBQ might not even get that final fight.
Yeah, and that passage of play indicates what Prey is utterly phenomenal at on this Addicts, knowing exactly where to hawkshot his opponent. And he discovered every member of BBQ, used his volley to zone, and then took down a turret basically by himself. This inhibitor falls because of just Prey and that particular play that he just made. So.
I mean, the moment he gets Ashe from level 2 onwards, his jungle wins, because like you say, he's so intelligent, reads the game so well after being around since Season 1. So do follow that act. The hookshot is one of those really overlooked abilities, as yep, Longzhu just want to end the game.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out. That volley actually doing as much as like multiple auto attacks onto these guys. Now it's just going to be these minions corralled in. There's the shockwave, lands on a crazy arrow to follow it up as well. It means that it's going to be a split engage. Good cast as Totoro's chucked back in, slicing Maelstrom as well, as Gorilla's doing his best just to lock them down, and it's going to be enough at the same time. Bless makes his way in, but that's the GA. So it's not even going to be a kill, as finally Ghost is able to pick one up onto BDD, but the Nexus turret's now under fire. Fighting back are BBQ, and that's going to be the next kill onto Khan. As now Longzhu on the run. Prey, not a lot of health as the Q is going to land. Oh, the heal was still there, exactly right. And Bless is going to take his own life, the hands of the Ashe's arrows. That is no more Nexus turrets, but at least the Nexus still lives for BBQ.
And they do us a favor, a bit more League of Legends before what is going to be a long break until we get that rematch of the 2016 World Finals. The gold lead is huge, 16,500 gold is the lead. Longzhu will end the game, you'd have to think, on their next push. But for now, the League of Legends continues.
It does indeed.
Plonk goes the Ashe arrow onto the Camille, so she's out of the fight. It's already 5v4 to open up. Rakan pops like a weasel. From there, 2 kills are down. Like you say, Prey does lose Guardian Angel, but allowed it into frontline, so I guess it was mission success on picking up the early Guardian Angel. They can't close the game because Khan decides that he's going Rambo mode. He got Asterix Gauge, thought he was unkillable.
Yeah,
probably didn't read the patch notes.
A little bit overly Rambo. I did like that Gorilla used a seismic shove to get him closer to the middle of the fight. Like he jumped on it to try and leapfrog his way in. I like it, utilizing the Talia as more initiation for his slicing Maelstrom.
Well, there's no Nexus turrets here, and if you watch KT vs Jin Air, that doesn't necessarily mean the game's over, but in this one, yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, quickness is going to come out. Totoro does make his way out. Hextech Ultimatum is just going to spell the end, though, as BDD locks down Crazy. Now the Nexus in trouble. There's a celebratory hula hoop for BDD, but probably hit the Nexus, guys. Prey is right onto it. Ghost is now just doing battle with Khan. It is going to be him falling down, though. Totoro gets himself onto the fountain, and that is the Nexus falling down. Longzhu, incredibly decisive 2-0 victory, and they wipe the floor with BDD. They wipe the floor with BBQ.
Yeah, maybe BDD wiped the floor with its hula hoop, like you mentioned on that final ultimate, but another victory piled on for the side of Longzhu Gaming. They get the Orianna for BDD, they get Prey on the Ashe, and from there, everything worked like clockwork. Khan smiling on your screen as well. I mentioned it during the game, but I'll reiterate it now. In 18 matches in the spring season, Longzhu had 8 match victories. Now, just exiting their 12th match, they are 9-3. They have more match wins, and they still have 6 matches to play. So they already have put past the frustrations of spring season. We know that the turmoil that they went under is also a thing of the past, with Kesper stepping in to ensure that the ship is steady, and they're doing us all a great favor because with a steady ship, Longzhu look like they're going to be fighting right to the end of summer season.
Yeah, and there's smiles on their faces now as well. Prey was even having a little bit of a grin earlier on, now that he's indicating to the camera, just making sure that he hides that elation. But this is a team that are more happy together, that are more happy when they're back at home just getting that practice in. Looking over the other side, not necessarily happy faces on the side of BBQ. Not many good news stories either to come out of this series. Felt like just utter domination from a Longzhu that are on the warpath towards Worlds. Potentially, they can do very, very well in the gauntlet run.
Yeah, the best of BBQ is not enough to trouble Longzhu on their best day, and you could start to argue maybe not even on a normal day, because Longzhu look a cut above teams like BBQ Oliver, something they wish they could say about spring season, but was not true by the time we got to the business end of the season. We're still not in the business end. We still have multiple weeks to go before the end of the regular season, but Longzhu are piling on the match victories. One day you're talking about Khan, the next day you're talking about BDD, Prey and Gorilla, they've always been there, and Kuz largely is the jungler they need. The only player without a substitute is fulfilling a great path in his rookie season. He's on a royal road, remember. He is the only person on the team looking to have victory in their first season, and Jace does a lot of damage, turns out, Atlas.
Yeah, especially when he's piloted by Khan. I feel like he just is always the one that's done the most damage to champions when we have a look at these graphs. Prey as well, doing very, very well, picking up second most damage. And he wasn't hitting as many champions during this game. I feel like the rough and tumble for Khan starts very, very early.
5,200 damage for the Camille, who just didn't get to play League of Legends against champions. She was playing single players. Gorilla on his Kennen will win the MVP.
300 points. His third one for the season. I can do some maths, Pop Smithy.
First Kennen game for the season. He's jumped up to 5-2 career on support Kennen, something only really he has played with great frequency. You thought it might be a Kalista only pick, because Kalista Kennen was a big pick in 2015 summer season, but they got Ashe and they thought, okay, let's perma CC the opposition, and Bless tried for kicks multiple times, and the stuns from the Gorilla, one of the reasons why just wasn't able to make it work on the Lee Sin.
Oh, a cute little lightning rush to get himself the right amount of distance, and then delivers the kill over to Khan. Oh dear. Why did we see this again?
Well, yep, it was awkward timing there. Remember, the Feather Storm was on cooldown after he had used it for the previous Ashe arrow, and then it was time to clean up the game.
Yeah,
rapidly coming as Righteous Glory Cannon, just going in as fast as he could to get all the stuff.
Yeah, and uses the seismic shove to get himself even further in, Papa Smithy. Don't necessarily know whether it was on purpose. We might be able to ask him that after the matches, but whoa, that was pretty cool.
So I feel about Longzhu every time they play. Even if they're playing against BBQ, heavily expected to win, they are cool. They have a lot of innovation. They'll bring new stuff. We have a top laner who's played Mordekaiser already this season.
Yeah. And won as well.
And people are taking notes from Khan. The Mordekaiser was played in EU LCS. The unique picks from Longzhu are coming up around the world, and Prey and Gorilla want to go to Worlds again. They are perennial attenders of Worlds. They want to be there in 2017.
Well, of course, it is going to be a difficult road. Still a lot of circuit points to pick up, but the possibility is still there, Papa Smithy. And now it's going to be the MVP interview. So we're going to throw it over to Joel to get us some translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Joel with your interview translations. We are here with Longzhu Gaming, picking up an easy 2-0 victory. And we are here with today's MVPs. We're for the interview. Congratulations. Thank you. How do you feel? It's my first time actually picking up an MVP in OGN, so it feels really good. Every time I go to sleep right before match day is that I think about what I would say when I go to the MVP interview. I actually didn't prepare this time around, and I was just on the way, just on the way here, and I was just kind of pretty chill about the entire game. Yeah, you seem to be very celebratory after the game. Yeah, I just like to express myself with body gestures. Really, how do you feel about Khan in general? Yeah, he's just an energetic guy, and just one of those guys that we always like to have in this team. And Gorilla, you're looking at Longzhu Gaming now. It's just this team is clearly in the top 4 in LCK right now. But how does that change affect you? I think with me being in a team that gets good ratings, it always feels good. So I'm very thankful for that, and just want to do well in the thing. So I want to get further into the playoffs if possible. And Khan, we know that you did a recent video with us. And you said you don't want to receive all the attention, but you receive more attention than anybody else. Yeah, I think as a player, I think receiving attention with your skills is the most important, and getting your attention with the entertainment value is shouldn't be the first priority as a player. We're going to move on to the game. Game 1 and Game 2. It just seems like you just went with Jace no matter what the opposition threw out. Was there a specific reason behind that? We actually thought that Jace would have been banned out by the opposition, but they left it open, and that was just for our chance to take it up. Hey, Jace is a strong champion, but it's all really up to the player who plays it that makes all the difference. Do you know what could counter a Jace? I think any champion could be a Jace, but I don't think there's like a specific champion that could beat Jace 1v1. It's a 7-0 Jace for Khan right now. Yeah, watch out teams, you need to ban out my Jace. Gorilla, you seem pretty embarrassed by the comment. I'm just scared of this guy Khan. He seems to say everything and everything says is right. We do have a video highlight with one of those plays that you showed. This was where he faked the flash. And we were just, I had no idea what to do there, but I was kind of startled in that play. But if I stand in that position and do my flash, it seems like I would most likely go up, so they would chase that way. So I used that against her in the mind games and went below. And after taking the relatively easy Game 1 and you move on to Game 2, we were kind of surprised by the way you guys handled Game 2. You guys went with Kennen support out of all things. Do you want to elaborate on why you came up with that decision? Yeah, Rakan is something that I had to face up with, and something that is an initiating champion that Rakan is. I needed also an initiating champion that I can do with my support role, and it was a champion that I did have some practice on, and for this instance. So I think it was a plan that worked out very well. We usually think of initiative supporters just like Zyra, for example. But what's the difference between Zyra and Kennen? Yeah, Zyra is not very mobile in the way it moves, and that's kind of one of the weaknesses that it has. So Kennen, with this mobility, it just makes it easier to move around. And we want to point out that Misfortune was Gorilla's invention. But yeah, Misfortune was an invention not only by me, but also with Prey and also with Nofe, the former coach as well. So we all kind of made that happen. How do you feel having Gorilla in the team? Oh, it's just an honor to have him in the team, just to play alongside him. It's the best feeling in the world. And just the Longzhu team and overall right now, it's that the bot lane always has a stability, and the top and the mid lane really produces that dynamics for the team. But it doesn't seem like they're pretty much the leaders of the team. What do you think? Do you have to have permission to say what you want to say? Yeah, I think for us to be dynamic in our mid lanes and our top lane is really up to the bot duo allowing us to do that. I have another video highlight. I thought this was a very spectacular team fight. What was the communication between these plays? Yeah, when Rakan comes in with the ultimate, we can usually react to it, and reacting with the Kennen ultimate, it works out. So we tried to react to it as fast as we could, and we got the kill right away onto Rakan. So that was a good start to the team fight.
그래서 또 오랜만에 고릴라 선수 보니까 생각난 건데 원래 또 현실에서도 서포터로 유명하시고 미담도
And we want to talk about your off-game priorities where, Gorilla, you not only in the support in the team, but you're supporting your players and your teammates outside the game as well. Yeah, when I first came to the team house, we heard about that Gorilla and Prey, these legendary players, were gonna be in that same team house, and so I didn't know what to expect, so I was very scared going in, but you know, Gorilla was the first one to come up and speak to me and just got me comfortable, and those are the things that really helped out off the game that actually just transitioned onto the on game as well.
이런 게 친구의 좋아하죠. 그렇죠. 사실 그 새로운 팀에 들어갔을 때 이런 것들이 굉장히 중요하잖아요. 맞습니다.
And I'm sure you know this is a very important thing when going to a new team. But we want to have Gorilla say the last words of what you want to tell your fans heading into the later matches. We always want to thank the people who have interest in the Longzhu organization, and we want to prepare ourselves very hard to play against our next opponents, so we're really excited for that. So thank you very much. And that's the end of the interview. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel, and that is adorable. It's no longer the Longzhu team, it's the Longzhu family with Mom and Dad, the parents on the bottom side of the map, Prey and Gorilla, taking care of all the new ones.
I mean, Gorilla's just a standout guy. I've known him for a long time now, a couple of years since I came to Korea, and always happy to chat, speaks good English. Great heart, and now his team also is building up around him. It was heartbreaking to see all the problems they had in spring season, in and out of the game. This season, though, no such problems, and Longzhu do look like a contender. Prey and Gorilla desperate to go back to Worlds, may be able to do that. They sit very happily in third spot, a match victory ahead of KT, who even with a 2-0 cannot join them in third spot. BBQ Olivers, unfortunately, maybe right down the bottom. MVP, BBQ, and Everate. You have to think 2 out of those are going to play in relegation.
And now, if SKT 2-0 Samsung, it will be Longzhu Gaming equaling second with Samsung as well. So really knocking on the front door of the standings.
Yeah, if SKT win, then Longzhu's second. Their game score will drop to 10, and they will be second with a loss.
Yes,
so
of course. Okay.
Longzhu Gaming being second, more than halfway through a season, will be super cool to see.
Super exciting. Also, KT will then be solidly in that 4th place, needing to try and get themselves back up to that top spot. And this is going to be our title matchup for today. It will be in approximately an hour, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately. So we'll be starting at 7:50 KST for the stream, and then Pick and Ban will start at 8 p.m. So don't worry, it's coming. It's just we're going to take a little bit of a break, make sure that we're well and truly prepared for what is going to be a pretty massive matchup.
It's a pretty long break. Little is perhaps a misnomer, but guys, good news. The best region in Asia is live right now. LPL is live, twitch.tv/LPL1. Go watch some LPL, but then come back. It's a Worlds rematch. It's going to be great.
That's exactly right. Or you could watch that massive clincher between KT and Jin Air that we saw yesterday. But there is going to be a break. We'll see you after it.